O Mother Nui, stretch high above this valley. Your starry body is our glory. Then see the hawk of yonder Rahur quit, his fiery splendor, oh so mighty. He brings a light for all our weary souls. He makes the broken spirit whole.
Picture this. Right now, a modern tech witch is riding a Roomba, charging a chaos magic sigil with like a Bluetooth wand. Magic isn't dead, right? It just got a software update.
It really did.
Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission for you today is unpacking how a misty 19th century seance parlor concept somehow got hard-coded into modern sandbox survival games. We are looking at this bizarre intersection of occultism, optical glitches, and game mechanics.
It's such a fascinating overlap, yeah, because the line between an analog ghost and a digital mist is actually shockingly thin. And, well, it really starts with how chaos magic practitioners use a sigil. You know, an abstracted symbol of intention that's meant to bypass the conscious mind entirely.
Right, they use that biological hack, the Celestine Sight, which is where things get really wild.
Exactly, because Celestine Sight isn't some mystical incantation. It's literally forcing your brain into an error state. You do it by uncoupling ocular convergence from ocular accommodation.
Wait, let's unpack that mechanics-wise. So convergence is like when you cross your eyes slightly to focus on an object near you, right?
Yeah, and accommodation is your eye's lens physically adjusting its shape so that object actually looks sharp. Usually your brain just does both of those automatically together.
But with Celestine Sight, you force them apart. You look beyond the physical plane of the symbol. Kind of like staring at one of those old Magic Eye posters.
That is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
And doing this in a dim room creates this sustained sensory dissonance, which triggers the Ganzfeld effect.
Oh, the Ganzfeld effect.
Yeah.
That's when your brain is starved for structured visual input, so it kind of panics, right?
Right. It actually manufactures its own visual data to fill that perceptual void. So the practitioner literally hallucinates a swirling fog, which is the famous ectomist.
That is wild. It's essentially staring at a blank screen until visual static appears. The practitioner is basically weaponizing their own biology, right? They're transforming a deliberate optical glitch into a full-on spiritual experience.
Yeah, they are. But that raises a massive problem for digital media. I mean, if seeing mist is an intensely subjective biological reaction to staring at a sigil, how on earth do rigid game engines translate that? A computer doesn't hallucinate.
Right. A computer's just math.
Exactly. Which is why developers often isolate the concepts entirely to maintain order. Like, look at the sandbox game Terraria. Ectomist is purely a mathematical environmental state. It's just a crafting modifier that triggers when a player places too many gravestones in one area.
Yeah, and the Celestial Sigil in that same game is just, well, a consumable item. You craft it from lunar fragments to summon the Moonlord boss. The sigil and the mist literally never interact.
No, they don't. It strips the esoteric weight completely.
Honestly, I find that incredibly disappointing. Take Diablo 4, for example.
Right.
You find an ancient nightmare sigil, and it's just like a UI tooltip telling you algorithmic map data. Doesn't that just kind of ruin the fantasy?
Well, it sacrifices the fantasy for predictable gameplay, right? I mean, sandbox games require strict rules, not subjective hallucinations. But this separation creates what researchers call lexical bleed.
Lexical bleed. So that's when players see words like sigil and mist and expect them to have this deep occult synergy, right? Just because of their historical weight.
Precisely. They expect magic, but instead they hit a wall of cold, hard math.
So game developers basically neuter the magic for the sake of the physics engine.
Yeah, they have to. But the irony here is that while video games are turning magic into math, modern occult practitioners are turning math into magic. Which brings us back to those tech witches.
Oh, the Roomba witches. They aren't rejecting the digitization of these concepts at all, are they?
Not at all. They are seamlessly integrating them.
Yeah.
You have real-world subcultures managing curses on, like damage value spreadsheets. They are running voice-activated smart home routines for their rituals.
They treat magic like operational coding logic. I mean, it makes sense when you think about it. We haven't abandoned magical thinking. We've just swapped the dusty grimoire for a smartphone OS.
It's brilliant, really. Magic is no longer this unquantifiable external terror. It's an input-output system.
Yeah.
And that is exactly why you should care about this intersection.
Right, because it shows how this stuff still influences us.
Exactly. This evolution reveals how deeply ancient folklore fundamentally shapes your expectations of modern digital systems. The language of the 19th century occult has quietly become the underlying language of our user interfaces.
It's everywhere. And it leaves us with this final thought for you. If Celestine's site proves that your own brain can manufacture a paranormal mist just to fill a perceptual void when staring at a static symbol well, what other glowing digital interfaces are subtly hacking your visual cortex today without you even realizing it?